12 tribes of Israel, and consulted against thy hidden ones. What have they said? They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation. What did it say? He said in Jeremiah 33 and 24, considerest thou not what this people have spoken, saying, the two families which the Most High have chosen, that's the 12 tribes of Israel, the northern tribes and the southern tribes, making up all 12 tribes, he have even cast them off. Thus they have despised my people, that they should be no more a nation before them, right? What they do. These are enemies and the haters of the Most High. Psalms 83rd chapter, verse 3, what they say? They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, 12 tribes of Israel, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation. See? That's why we talk about you're a group. You're black, which is demeaning. You know, black Hebrew Israelites. We always got to be defined as something that's less than. We are, as the chosen people of the Most High. They have said, look what they said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation. That's why you're talking about you're a group, you're a community, you everything that they say you are, you repeat it instead of say, we are a nation. So they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation. We're 12 nations that make up one nation. The 12 tribes of Israel, each tribe is a nation that make up one nation. As it is written. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. See that? So here we are. And they name nations. I done went over it a few times, so you know. And that was something when I was in Skid Row. They have no Bibles. You can look at, on my YouTube page, Freestyle Wham, THAAHWAM, THAAHWAM, and you'll see where I'm doing a lesson that they asked me to deal with Jehovah's Witness. It was trying to convert them to be a Jehovah's Witness. And it's Hebrew Israelite versus Jehovah's Witness. And you'll hear me ask them, what nation is this? In Psalms 83rd chapter. You'll hear the people naming those nations. I hope you all can. Because a lot of people look down on them. But you look at that video and you'll hear them naming those nations. I'm saying, who is this? And they naming them. All praise to the Most High. His word does not go out void. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. This is what it says. Jeremiah 33:25. Thus said the Most High, if my covenant, I gotta read verse 24. Consider thou not what this people have spoken, saying the two families which the Most High have chosen, he have even cast them off. Thus they have despised my people, that they should be no more a nation before them. That's why we, everything you could think of, a reproach, a byword. But who we are, the 12 tribes of Israel. Thus say the Most High, if my covenant, if his contract, his agreement that we started on this lesson with, be not with day and night. You hear that? I'm looking at day now. Wherever you at could be night. So he's saying if day and night, if my covenant be not with day and night, and if I have not appointed the ordinances of heaven and earth, then will I cast away the seed of Jacob, the lineage of our 12 tribes of Israel, and David my servant, so that I will not take any of the seed to be rulers over the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's his name forever, the memorial to all generations. Hear what he say? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Over and over again. For I will cause their captivity to return and have mercy on them. He's going to have mercy on Jacob. Show me where Most High say he's going to have mercy on anybody else. He's going to have mercy on us. Look at Jeremiah 31 and 35. Thus say the Most High, which giveth the sun for a light for day by day, and the ordinances of the moon and of the stars for a light by night, which divideth the sea when the waves thereof roar. The Most High of hosts, Most High of armies, Most High of angels is his name. Also, it say, if those ordinances, the sun that's shining in the daytime, the moon and the stars that's lighting up the nighttime, he said, if those ordinances depart from before me, said the Most High, then the seed of Israel also shall cease from being a nation before me forever. What are we talking about? Were the Israelites done away with? Were the Israelites cast out forever, that you could become a spiritual Israelite? Listen to what he said. If those ordinances, the sun, the moon, the stars, depart from before me, they can't exist no more. Said the Most High. Then the seed of Israel also shall cease from being a nation before me forever. I mean, the sun is still shining. And some of you can go outside and see the moon and the stars, right? It's nighttime where you at. Thus say the Most High Power, if heaven above can be measured, if you can measure Esau, if you can measure heaven above, and the foundation of the earth searched out beneath, I will also cast off all the seed of Israel for all that they have done, said the Most High Power. So if you can measure the heavens and the sky, the universe, all the way to the third heaven, not just the ozone layer and the firmament, but beyond that too, because that's the heavens. Got the third heaven. Beyond that, right? You can measure all of that. And measure and search the earth beneath. Hey, he said, I will also cast off all the seed of Israel for all that they have done, said the Most High. While they had Jacques Cousteau out there in the sea trying to measure it, right? They got their little space station in the sky. Y'all looking at they just up there. They trying to fulfill this because they know. Deuteronomy the 30th chapter. Let's go to the law. Deuteronomy the 30th chapter. Start at verse 1. Deuteronomy 30 and verse 1. And it shall come to pass, when all these things shall come upon thee, the blessing and the curse, which I have set before thee, and thou shalt call them to mind among all the nations, that he scattered us among all the nations, we Yasharallah, 12 tribes of Israel. You call to mind among all the nations, whither the Most High thy power have driven thee, and shall return unto the Most High thy power, and shall obey his voice, according to all that I command thee this day, thou and thy children, with all thine heart, and with all thy soul, that then we come back to the Most High's law, statutes, commandments, and following what he wants us to do, his rules and regulations, that then the Most High thy power, your power 12 tribes of Israel, will turn thy captivity. Just where we at, y'all. While we saying repent, keep the laws of the Most High. He says, then the Most High thy power will turn thy captivity and have compassion upon thee, and will return and gather thee from all the nations, whither the Most High thy power have scattered thee. It says, he gonna gather us from all four corners of the earth, all the nations that he has spread us in and scattered us among. He gonna gather us. He said, if any of thine be driven out unto the outmost parts of heaven, heaven on this earth, from thence will the Most High thy power gather thee, and from thence will he fetch thee. How you gonna fetch us from all the places he scattered us if we don't exist no more? He telling us this is salvation, power and authority that's coming to the children of Israel. Because we scattered among all these nations right now. So if any of thine be driven out unto the outmost parts of heaven, that's talking about this earth. Outmost parts of the earth. I don't care if we're in the Amazon jungles. Wherever we are. Outmost parts of heaven, outmost parts of the earth. From thence will the Most High thy power gather thee, and from thence will he fetch thee. And the Most High thy power will bring thee into the land which thy fathers possessed, and thou shalt possess it. And he will do thee good and multiply thee above thy fathers. So you're going to put a whole lot of children in a man's stomach, bring forth a lot of children. He said a little one going to bring forth 1,000. Small one, a strong nation, as it is written. And the Most High thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemies. That's what's happening. That's going to happen. Prophecy. The Most High thy power, Most High our power, will put all these curses upon thine enemies, and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. That's what you're looking forward to, as it is written. And thou shalt return and obey the voice of the Most High. That's why we're doing this right now. And do what? And do all his commandments, which I command thee this day. And the Most High power will make thee plenteous in every work of thine hand. Whatever we do gonna be plenteous. Blessed. In the fruit of thy body, children, and in the fruit of thy cattle, gonna have a lot of cattle, and in the fruit of thy land, crops and so forth, for good. For the Most High will again rejoice over thee for good, as he rejoiced over thy fathers. If, condition, a condition that we have to look at, thou shalt hearken, listen, unto the voice of the Most High thy power, your power, to keep his commandments and his statutes, which are written in this book of the law. And if thou turn unto the Most High thy power, the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Jacob being the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel, with all thine heart and with all thy soul, but his commandment, which I command thee this day, it is not hidden from thee. Say, neither is it far off. It is not in heaven, it ain't up in the heaven, that thou shouldest say, who shall go up for us to heaven and bring it unto us, that we may hear it and do it. He said, it ain't in heaven where he's at, right here with us on the earth. That's why we can read it from Genesis to Deuteronomy. You can read the laws, self-explanatory. Moral laws, civil laws, dietary laws, and ceremonial laws. And you also have the sacrificial laws here. But we know we're not sacrificing any animals for atonement of our sins. So Mashiach Shai, his precious blood was shed for the 12 tribes of Israel. the ultimate sacrifice. That's the law that we're not under. Now we got to make our bodies be a living sacrifice. Verse 14, but the word is very nigh or near unto thee, in thy mouth and in thine heart, that thou mayest do it. See, I have set before thee this day, this is a choice we have, life and good, and death and evil. So you got a choice to choose life or death. Life for good and death for evil. In that I command thee this day to love the Most High thy power, to walk in his ways, and to keep his commandments and his statutes and his judgments, that thou mayest live and multiply. And the Most High thy power shall bless thee in the land whither thou goest to possess it. But if thine heart, our mind, turn away, so that thou wilt not hear, like a lot of you don't want to hear. Y'all don't want to hear about we under the law, which is the commandments of the Most High, but shall be drawn away and worship other gods. Like he said, he's going to send us, scatter us among all these nations. And then we go amongst these other nations, we're going to serve other gods that our fathers didn't know, even wood and stone. Say we be drawn away and worship other gods, other idols, and serve them. That a lot of y'all doing in these religions. If not, then show me how your religion is keeping the laws of the Most High. Your religion is keeping the commandments of the Most High, the moral laws, the civil laws, the dietary laws, and ceremonial laws. Name the ceremonial laws. The holy convocations that the Most High said we're supposed to honor. His feast days, name them. And identify your religion. Baptist, Catholic, Jehovah's Witness, Seventh-day Adventist, Apostolic, name them. Your religion and the fact that you're keeping the laws of the Most High to the best of your ability. And your preacher is teaching to keep the laws, statute, commandments of the Most High. This is real, man. And you are Israelites. You're not no Gentiles. He said, I call heaven and earth to record this day against you, that I have set before you life and death, blessing and cursing. It's the only choice you have. You're going to be blessed or you're going to be cursed. You're going to choose life or death. And to say that we don't have to follow the Most High's rules and regulations, his laws, is death. That's what you're putting upon yourself. Because your name definitely not going to be written in the book of life. If you, out of your mouth, saying that we don't have to follow the Most High, and you teaching people not to follow the Most High, that's why I say, myself, I told you in Matthew 5:19, you're going to be the least in the kingdom of heaven. But he that teach and do the law is going to be great in the kingdom of heaven. We in the law now. I call heaven and earth, Deuteronomy 30:19. I call heaven and earth to record this day against you, that I have set before you life and death, blessing and cursing. Therefore choose life, that both thou and thy seed, our children, may live, that thou mayest love the Most High thy power, and that thou mayest obey his voice, and that thou mayest cleave unto him. For he is thy life, and the length of thy days, that thou mayest dwell in the land which the Most High sware unto thy fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, to give them. That's who the Most High is, the power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's his name forever and memorial to all generations. It ain't going to change. You done heard it all day long. Let's go to who the Most High going to have mercy on. You got mercy. Let's see, find out who you're going to have mercy on. Go to Isaiah 14 chapter. Isaiah 14. And we're going to start at verse 1. Isaiah 14. So we have to exist for this prophecy that Isaiah is prophesying to happen as a nation. Because he's saying in Isaiah 14:1, he said, for the Most High will have mercy, which is not getting something you deserve, on Jacob. Remember the Most High is who? The power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob being the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel. For the Most High will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel. That's the 12 tribes of Israel. And set them, let you know, and they just talk about our forefather Jacob, the them is the Israelites, 1/3, mind you. And set them in their own land, and the strangers, these other nations outside of the 12 tribes of Israel, the remnant of all these other nations, that's going, Most High going to find that they are worthy to be able to come into our kingdom. And the strangers, these other nations outside of the 12 tribes of Israel, shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. What are they going to say? Hold that. Get Zechariah 8:23. They're going to be cleaving to the house of Jacob. What they going to say? Zechariah 8:23, they're going to say, let's start at verse 22 and 23. It says, yeah, many people and strong nations shall come to seek the Most High power of hosts, of armies, of angels in Jerusalem, and to pray before the Most High. Thus say the Most High power of hosts, power of angels, power of armies. In those days it shall come to pass that 10 men, they're going to be cleaving to the house of Jacob, 10 men shall take hold of all, 10 men shall take hold out of all languages of the nations, even shall take hold of the skirt of him that is a Jew, saying what? We will go with you, but we have heard that the Most High is with you. They're going to know this. Ain't no more Army, Navy, Marines, Air Force. Ain't no more governments that's dealing with this kingdom. Kingdoms that's on this earth going to be wiped out. We talk about it in the kingdom, when righteousness is being set up. That's why it says, Isaiah 14:1, for the Most High will have mercy, which is not getting something you deserve, on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, the Israelites, the 12 tribes of Israel, and set them, the 12 tribes of Israel, 1/3, mind you, in their own land. And the strangers, these other nations, shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. A remnant of all the nations going to be right there, cleaving to us, saying, hey, they're going to cleave on us and say what? We know that the Most High is with you. They're going to know this. Most High will. And the people shall take them. We're going to take these other nations and bring them to their place. We're going to put them in their place, like they brought us and put us in our place in the ghettos and slums all over the world. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place. We're going to bring them to their place where they're going to be at, and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Most High for servants and handmaids, men servants and women servants. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. You hear that? Who oppressors slay them and hold himself not guilty. And it shall come to pass, this future prophecy, in the day that the Most High shall give thee rest from thy sorrow. This ain't our rest right now, but He's going to give us rest from our sorrow, and from thy fear, and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve. That's why you look at the book of Revelation. He's going to give us rest from all the hard bondage, the hard times that we had on this earth. Go to Revelation 21. Look what it says in verse 4. It says, and the Most High shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow, nor crying in the kingdom. Neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. And he that sat upon the throne said, Behold, I make all things new. And he said unto me, Write these, for these words are true and faithful. Hallelujah. Most High. So now going back to Isaiah 14 and 3. And it shall come to pass in the future, this future prophecy, in the day that the Most High shall give thee rest from thy sorrow, and from thy fear, and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve, that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon, and say, How has the oppressor ceased? We're going to say, How has the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased. How has America ceased? The rulership, the golden city ceased. Most I have broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. The powers and the authority that's on this earth. Remember, Most I said he digging a pit for the wicked. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke. Hear that? Smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, non-stop. No love whatsoever. A continual stroke. He that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted. It's payback. And none hinder. Ain't nobody gonna stop this. The whole earth is at rest. Hear that? When the king of Babylon was brought down, how the oppressor ceased, the golden city ceased. Verse 7, the whole earth gonna be at rest. The whole earth is at rest. And it's quiet. They break forth into singing. Yeah, the fir trees rejoice at thee. And the cedars of Lebanon, even the trees gonna rejoice at the ceasing of the oppressor, saying, Since thou art laid down, since you stop oppressing everybody and being the superpower of the earth, no fella is come up against us. Ain't nobody cutting down the trees. Because you know what? We got years and years of melting all the ordinances, the war weapons that they have, weapons of war. We don't need no trees. It says, Hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. Hear that? Hell from beneath is moved for them at their coming into hell. It has stirred up the dead for thee, even all the cheap ones of the earth. It has raised up from it has raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. All they shall speak and say unto thee, Art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? Because I look at these little small nations now. Back in the day, America had the nukes, right? The big bully of all nations. All these countries got nukes. They're going to say, hey, you become as little as us? Verse 10, all they shall speak and say unto thee, Art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? Thy pomp, your power is brought down to the grave. In the noise of thy vows, the worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee. You know the worms eat the flesh up. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nation? They try to say in religion that this represents the devil and Satan. Listen what it says. How art thou fallen from heaven? Heaven is a condition on this earth. They're in their heaven. They sung the song. They made a song. I'm in heaven. I'm in heaven. So he said, how art thou fall from heaven? What did it say? Verse 4, how hath the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased. Now verse 12 said, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? But thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I mean, they painted themselves as the Most High, as the Mashiach Yahushua. And our people believe that they are the Most High. When you saying God, that's who they talking about. You got to understand, that's why I stopped saying G-O-D and L-O-R-D. Listen, for thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. They got their space station up in the sky. They got their jets and airplanes flying in the heavens. I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High. Got their space station above the clouds. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north, like we in North America right here. And you should tell me any nation, any country that's bringing forth the understanding of this Bible more so than we here in America. Now I'll wait to hear that. Because I don't think it's going to be anywhere in this world except for right here. When it's saying, the oppressor ceased and the golden city, America, ceased. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. You can't deny that. Who said they're going to be like the Most High? Who said they're the Most High? Here he is right here. See it? Are you denying it? We just dealing with the truth. There he is right there. I'll be like the Most High. In the beginning, God created heaven and earth. In the Bible, all throughout the Bibles. His picture. What did it say? I will be like the Most High. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. Remember what he said? He's going to dig that pit for who? The wicked. They tell you the earth is given to the hand of the wicked, Job 9:24. He covered the faces. He is the wicked, covered the faces of the judges thereof. Just showed you. Who more of a judge than the Most High? He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? If it ain't him. That's why y'all been deceived. Remember, the devil's job is what? Deceive the whole world with what? Witchcraft, sorcery. So if you don't think about what it is that we done looked at, I done brought it clearly out to you in many lessons. What did he say? Verse 14, I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. That he say, have a pit ready for the wicked. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man? I thought y'all say Lucifer was the devil. He said, is this the man that maketh the earth to tremble? That did shake kingdoms? Come on, who is it that dropped bombs? Who dropped the bomb on Japan, Nagasaki and Hiroshima? Make the kingdoms to shake, to tremble, the earth to tremble? Who's dropping bombs right now over there in Ukraine? Is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms, that made the world as a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of his prisoners? Come on. You concerned about this, man, because you got people in jail right now for marijuana, weed, and they selling weed. Got dispensaries all over America that's selling weed. You got brothers still in jail for just that. Now I heard they passing a law that whatever it is that's brought to the case, when the case go down, that's all you can use. You can't go back like they got DNA. They found out that this DNA realizing the brothers didn't do the crime that they were accused of, and they got to let them out of jail after they did 20 years, 25 years, being innocent and finding out that they're not guilty of the crime that they were accused of. Can you imagine that? Think about that. You did all this time and you didn't do anything wrong, but were falsely accused and imprisoned. Why the Most High said, that opened not the house of his prisoners. And the kings of the nations, even all of them, lie in glory, every one in his own house. But thou art cast out of thy grave like an abominable branch, and as the raiment of those that are slain, thrust through with a sword, that go down to the stones of the pit, as a carcass trodden under feet. Let you know. That's why he say got that pit for who? The wicked. That's why all of you that hear my voice, you better try and do what you can do to come back to the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High. Have faith in the true Hamashiach Yahushua, so that you can be part of the remnant that's going to be redeemed. Ezekiel 11th chapter. That's prophecy. Have the same spirit of how you feel from hearing all that and hearing these prophecies of the time, or how we went into captivity, slavery, and bondage, the righteous and the wicked of the Most High's chosen people, the Israelites. I hope that moved you when I read it in Ezekiel 21st chapter, just as much as you move in your spirit of hearing what the prophecy is for the end time for these other nations, especially the superpower of this earth right now. Ezekiel 11th chapter, 16th verse. Therefore say, thus say the Most High Power, although I have cast them far off among the heathen, we still in dealing with, the Most High done away with the Israelites. Have he cast us off? Do we exist still, since they say you're going to be a spiritual Israelite? But Paul dismissed that in Romans, the 9th chapter, the 1st verse through the 5th verse.